Hi there! Happy July and happy peak of summer for those of you who also live in the Northern Hemisphere. Truth be told, I am not the biggest fan of summer. I was born on the first day of summer, but I'm definitely a fall and snowy winter girl. This year, I've let myself fall in love with summertime again. I've always liked picnics and I'm learning a lot more about hiking now that I live in a place more accessible to hiking trails. So in the spirit of that, I thought I would sit down today and share some of the other things that I've refallen in love with. The first is my morning coffee ritual. I say coffee because if you know me, there was a time in my life where coffee was kind of all that I drank. I am Vietnamese, so coffee is essentially a prerequisite. But as I entered my mid to late 20s, the intense rush of energy that it provides just didn't really mesh with my nervous system anymore. I transitioned into drinking more teas and have found myself a more matcha-centered lifestyle. But what I really missed was the morning ritual I had for myself. Ever since I started living on my own, and especially when I lived by myself in my little studio apartment, I would wake up in the morning, turn on my music, dance around my, I think it was called a kitchenette, and make my morning cup of Vietnamese Phin coffee. And I'll be honest, moving towards steeping a cup of tea just didn't hit the same way. I've definitely always liked the taste of matcha, but once I learned to make my own cup at home, everything just clicked. My morning coffee ritual definitely looks a little different now. Sometimes it's just me, sometimes there's company, but that little pocket of me time in the morning is something that I've definitely missed. Putting the kettle on, sipping my matcha powder, taking a little extra time is something that I'm so happy to welcome back into my life. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this light on because the lighting gods are just not in my favor today. The second thing that I've fallen in love with is playing dress up. I've always been excited about clothing, specifically vintage, different color and pattern combinations, and how what I choose to put on reflects my mood and intentions for the upcoming day. However, during grad school, I realized that formulating a cute outfit on top of waking up really early in the morning for class is just something that I'm not very built for. I think I gravitated to a lot more crew necks, jeans, and sneakers during this time, which are essentially just not very me. Being a couple years out of school and moving into a more hybrid and in-person work format, I've been able to really take advantage of this time and explore more of my style again. And I've also noticed growth in the way that I carry myself in the world when I have an outfit that feels a lot more like me. I'm a little more confident, a little more playful because I'm able to take my time and play dress up. Emphasis on the playing because it definitely took a little bit of trial and error before I was feeling more like myself again. But that's actually what I want to focus on in sharing this point. I didn't just wake up one day and realize who I used to be or really am. I definitely still wore a lot of jeans and crew necks that moved towards sweaters, striped piece sweaters, fun textured long sleeves before I was able to put on something like this with the little cutouts and sheer flounce. Like, I definitely aspire to be the kind of adult that dresses like, you know, those little kids who, you know, you can tell definitely dress themselves but look immaculate. There are still definitely days where I'll try on a minimum of 2 to 3 outfit combinations before I am fully happy to walk out the door. So if you're in a similar boat, take your time. Just let yourself play dress up. Number 3 is actually documenting my outfits. This sort of came about in tandem with the previous activity of playing dress up because playing dress up just got me really excited to share what I was wearing, brought back my love and routine for documenting my outfit of the day. I believe it honestly kickstarted again when me and my partner would make these short reels documenting the outfits that we had planned and worn during the vacations that we took together. I think the first one was like New York and then San Francisco. Definitely some trips that we were documenting more intentionally. It was a fun activity to incorporate into our vacation. And I used to do this so often, not just on vacation, but just day to day. Plenty of mirror selfies, plenty of dedicated photo shoots, casual shoots, you name it. The ones with my partner have primarily been on my personal Insta, but for my own wardrobe, I've been dabbling in posting on YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and people have been quite supportive. I am a big fan of front cam fit checks, but I've been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone with the front camera, different camera setups, different formats. Short form is definitely a beast of its own, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. I'm having a lot of fun. It's honestly also just great to have a digital archive of all your previous outfits, especially on days where you just are feeling a little bit more tired and don't have the brain space to formulate a new one. And I can't wait to share with you soon the other reason for why I've been documenting my outfits more. The fourth thing that I've fallen in love with is running outside. Growing up, I lived near a medium-sized lake, and on days where I'm feeling like my head is a little bit cloudy, I took on sprinting the lake a couple times over as a form of release and de-stress. I think since moving to the US, I've not felt as safe running outside as a woman, gravitating more so to treadmill running. I've definitely considered running with other people before to make the outside feel more safe. For me, running is preferably more solitude activity. However, Rochester is just so beautiful. Hence, Connor and I have started running outside together. I'm very proud of him because he's definitely a tennis-focused cardio person, and I am especially proud of me because zone 2 running, the kind of running that allows you to keep a conversation with the person you're running with, is just very difficult for me as a soccer player, left defense, midfield sprinter. I'm a big fan. I want to run outside all the time now. We've been trying to go once a week, which is honestly quite ambitious with our work schedules, but when we're able to get outside and see more of the city, move our bodies, it's always worth it. The 5th thing that I've fallen in love with is my bare face. Clearly it is not bare right now, so bare. If you've seen my last video, you would have seen that I had a sty on my left eye. What you didn't know is that I had another one on my right eye. May and June were very tough months, but they're basically gone now. I genuinely don't know what happened. I came back from New York City and then there they were, on and off. This one definitely more consistently than this, which I'm very thankful for. I guess the silver lining of this experience was that I've shifted my focus to skincare again, which for the longest time was my focus, but with visiting Asia, I liked using makeup as sort of like a barrier for the pollution in the air. And then I just got used to seeing my face like that. I got more lazy with my skincare routine because I got busier, and then I wasn't able to wear any makeup whatsoever or else they would flare back up. And so here we are. I'm locked into my skincare routine more so than ever and have definitely simplified my makeup, focusing on color correction, eyebrows, a little bit of lipstick. There was a time where I definitely was just like mascara and blush out the door. I really hated lipstick, but other than helping to clear my styes, the simplifying has been really good for summer because my face is just, you know, breathing more of the essential sunscreen that I should be wearing. And yeah, it's just feeling less cakey and heavy throughout the day. I'm definitely grateful to be feeling just a little bit prettier in my skin with the styes being gone, but I'm extra grateful for a way for me to reconnect with what I naturally look like. It's been kind of healing. Writing in my diary. I saw a reel somewhere some time ago. This person was just very serious about calling it a diary instead of a journal. They were like, no, I write in my diary because it's something that I take very seriously. I don't journal. I don't particularly agree. I still sporadically call it journaling, but I just really respected the manner in which they were very serious about documenting, writing, creating in their designated book. For that reason, I'm using the phrase writing in my diary because that's sort of the manner in which I've been taking on journaling again. For a while, I was really stubborn with journaling. I think I just like didn't want to write down my sad, angry thoughts. To me as a writer, like if I wrote it down, then it's real. If I didn't write it down, then I can just pretend that nothing's wrong, at least for a little while. On top of that, I feel like I was afraid that if I were to write down all my thoughts, I wouldn't have anything to talk to other people about. I don't really know where that mindset came from, but it's definitely not true. And this is everything from like manifestations to reflections to brain dump. I've tried habit tracking, didn't really stick, and now I've really honed in on this one very specific monthly reset format. If you're interested, I can definitely share more. But in writing more consistently again, I've definitely refallen in love. Calmer, lighter, less angry. I have this, I think, periwinkle journal that I've been carrying around since it's gotta be 4 years, and I have like 2 pages left. It's crazy. This notebook has been with me since before I finished college, all the way until now being married and living in a completely different state. I'm nervous to finish it, but yeah, overall, net positive. Highly recommend really committing to it and allowing yourself to see the results. Listening to the music more than the lyrics. I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I love words. Always been more of a lyrics person. Even if I liked a song and how it sounded, if the lyrics are bad, vetoed. I landed on this corner of Spotify house music. Something in me just woke up and felt really happy around house music. I made this specific playlist called Outside It Is Warm and Blue in April. I'll let the playlist speak for itself. I'm not saying that all the songs in this playlist have shit lyrics and good melodies. I'm just saying that I'm not as picky anymore because I definitely have grown less judgy and more appreciative of what all the aspects of music have to offer. It's just kind of nice to like dance around a little bit, you know? Telling others when I feel loved. Kind of a cheesy one, kind of a difficult one to actually do. Very important nonetheless. I think the older I get, the more acts of service I become, how I was raised, but also just the growth of my more practical side. I've noticed that putting in the extra moment to thank them for putting the dishes away, taking the time to call you, buying something for you that made them think of you can really change your relationship with them. I think regardless of what our love languages are, being told that we are needed, telling someone that you really appreciate them will never be an action that is wasted. The external verbal confirmation creates this little moment to be like, yeah, you are in my life, you make me feel so loved, and I love you so much too. More whole overall when I put in the extra time to make sure that others know that they make me feel very loved. Another thing about me that some of you may be surprised to know is that I love spending time alone. I am what you call an extroverted introvert. I'm very social, but I love going grocery shopping alone, going to the movies alone, going to concerts alone without straining my social battery. I found that parallel play is super wonderful. I did this a lot when I worked more remotely. I would just go over to a friend's place or they would come to mine and we would have a co-working day, bring our respective lunches, yap for 15 minutes between meetings, and then end the day by making dinner together. It was also an opportunity to catch up and feel like we are still a part of a water cooler ecosystem. Nowadays, parallel play sometimes takes the form of one person taking a nap and the other person writing some emails, calling a friend on the phone, but more so having them in the background while we each do our own things. Funnily enough, I re-fell in love with parallel play through adopting our second cat, Angus. Zoe has always been my OG parallel play friend, but in getting her a cat friend, we've noticed that she parallel plays with Angus as well, and then Angus parallel plays with us. I don't know, it's really sweet. They just follow us around wherever we go, and I'll look up and they'll just be lounging right there. I guess another form of the hey, I'm here, I love you reminder. And the last thing that I've re-fallen in love with is not immediately moving on to the next thing. I've had this tendency since a very young age. It makes me very ambitious, but it's not always beneficial. As of late, it's more so been getting in the way of me recognizing and really appreciating the present moment. And sometimes not even appreciating, just like recognizing what just happened and how I'm affected by it. I found that just taking a second or a couple days or even a week to notice what is going on, think through how it's changing me, allowing myself to absorb everything that I need to absorb, release everything that I need to release, so that when I move on, I'm not leaving behind anything that was essential or glossing over anything that really needed to be addressed. The specific example that I'm thinking about is when I finished editing and uploaded my video about how I wrote 30 poems in 30 days. And in congratulating me, my dear friend Paulina told me to just slow down and enjoy this accomplishment. I was in fact already scripting my next video and setting a date for it to be filmed. Her little reminder got me to breathe and yeah, feel really proud of myself for finishing a big project that I'd been talking about for a really long time. I feel like with it being halfway through the year, a lot of us can feel like we're running to tie up a lot of the goals that we had set for ourselves at the beginning of the year. For me, as someone who doesn't do well in the summer heat, I actually take summer as a time to slow down. Be a little slower, take a little longer, reminding myself to hold what I currently have close and trusting in the fact that I still have time. Those are all of the things that I've recently re-fallen in love with. I would love to know if any of these points resonate with you. I would love for you to check out the recent outfits that I've been posting. I would love for you to re-fall in love with some of the things in your life and see how they apply to the version of you that you are now. It's like trying on a sweater that you have at the back of your closet that you haven't worn in years. You put it on and the memories that it brings back isn't necessarily what you're feeling, but more so the growth towards who you have become, even though you're putting on an old sweater. I hope you're having a fun and restful summer. Be sure to go outside and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.